Hey Deep Divers, welcome back. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment below because today we're diving into the 2024 election. But hold on to your hats, folks, because this isn't your typical political analysis. We're talking Arnold Schwarzenegger, the Terminator himself, stepping into the political ring to endorse Kamala Harris for president.
Yeah, it's definitely a curveball, and Schwarzenegger's reasoning goes beyond simple party lines, which makes it even more interesting.
Yeah, every day you see a Republican icon like Schwarzenegger endorsing a Democrat, especially not in this political climate.
Exactly, and it highlights a fascinating dynamic within the Republican Party right now. You have Schwarzenegger openly saying, I don't like either party right now. It makes you wonder, is this just Schwarzenegger going rogue? Or is it a symptom of a larger dissatisfaction brewing among Republicans?
Yeah, that quote really jumped out at me, too. I mean, he didn't hold back. He even went so far as to call out both sides. Republicans for their stance on deficits, and Democrats for policies he sees as contributing to crime in cities.
And that's where it gets really interesting. Schwarzenegger's critiques seem to resonate with a growing sentiment among voters who feel disillusioned with both parties. They're tired of the political games, the gridlock, and the lack of progress on the issues that matter most to them.
Yeah, he's definitely tapping into a vein of discontent out there. And then things get even more intense when he turns his sights on Donald Trump. Schwarzenegger goes all in, saying rejecting election results is un-American, that Trump won't respect votes unless they're for him, and that he incited the Capitol riot.
Those are some serious accusations, and they speak to a deeper anxiety about the state of American democracy. Some voters are genuinely concerned about the direction the country is heading, and they see Trump as a threat to democratic norms and institutions.
He really didn't mince words. Schwarzenegger goes on to slam Trump's policies, claiming his only real achievement was a tax cut that mainly benefited the wealthy, and even accuses Trump of viewing Americans who disagree with him as bigger enemies than China, Russia, or North Korea.
It's a scathing critique, and it highlights the deep political polarization we're witnessing. Schwarzenegger's comments, especially those about the dangers to democracy, resonate with voters who are deeply worried about the future of the country and the erosion of democratic values.
He's painting a pretty bleak picture, but he doesn't stop there. Schwarzenegger even goes on to say another Trump presidency would be 4 more years, a bull stout with no results, and would lead to more division and hate.
That statement brings up a crucial question. What would the consequences of another Trump presidency actually be? Would it exacerbate existing divisions, further erode trust in institutions, and damage America's standing on the global stage?
It's definitely a lot to unpack. But despite his strong opinions, Schwarzenegger closes by encouraging everyone to vote, even if they disagree with him.
That's an important point. Regardless of where you stand politically, civic engagement is absolutely crucial for a healthy democracy. Your voice matters.
Okay, so we've gone from the Terminator to a deep dive into American politics, and it's been quite a ride. What are some key takeaways you'd highlight from this surprising endorsement?
Well, Schwarzenegger's stance underscores the growing dissatisfaction with both major parties and shines a light on the fears some voters have about the direction of American democracy. It raises important questions about the potential consequences of another Trump presidency and emphasizes the vital role of civic engagement in navigating these challenging times.
Wow, we covered a lot of ground there. But don't worry, deep divers, this is just the beginning. We'll be right back with part 2 of our deep dive into Arnold Schwarzenegger's unexpected endorsement. So grab a snack, stay tuned, and we'll be back in a flash.
And we're back, diving deeper into the ripples caused by Arnold Schwarzenegger's endorsement of Kamala Harris. What's fascinating here is Schwarzenegger's own journey, from action hero to politician, to this outspoken critic of his own party.
Yeah, it's almost like he's gone from terminating robots on screen to taking on what he sees as threats to American democracy in real life.
Yeah. There's a compelling parallel there, remember. He served as the Republican governor of California, a state that leans heavily Democratic. He's always been willing to cross party lines. And now he's not afraid to challenge the direction his party has taken.
Yeah, and he's certainly not holding back on his critiques of both sides. It's refreshing to see someone call it like they see it, regardless of party affiliation.
Absolutely. And this outspokenness brings up a big question. Where does this leave the Republican Party? Does Schwarzenegger's endorsement signal a larger shift within the party? Or is he a lone wolf?
Yeah, it's hard to say for sure, but it definitely points to a growing divide between those who support Trump and those who are more moderate.
Yeah.
Or identify as traditional conservatives.
Right. It's worth noting that Schwarzenegger still identifies as a Republican, Even while being critical of the party's current direction, this suggests he's not abandoning the party, but rather trying to steer it back towards what he sees as its core values.
So, he's not giving up on the Republican Party just yet. He seems to be holding on to hope that it can course correct. But, let's be honest, his endorsement has thrown a wrench into the 2024 election.
Without a doubt, it's injected an element of unpredictability into the race and forced both parties to reevaluate their strategies.
You know, one thing Schwarzenegger said that really struck me was his statement that rejecting election results is as un-American as it gets.
Yeah. It's a powerful statement that reflects a growing concern among many Americans about the fragility of our democratic institutions. The peaceful transfer of power is a cornerstone of democracy, and any threat to that undermines the entire system.
Yeah, it's a sobering thought. But it's important to remember that we, the people, have the power to protect our democracy.
Absolutely. We can't be complacent. Our democracy requires active participation, not just during elections, but all the time.
So, what can our listeners do to make their voices heard and ensure our democracy stays strong?
Well, first and foremost, vote. Every vote counts. And it's the most fundamental way to participate in our democracy. But it's also about being engaged at all levels of government. Stay informed about the issues, contact your representative, and participate in civic discourse.
Right. We often get caught up in the big national races, but local elections are incredibly important too.
Exactly. Local elections often have the most direct impact on our daily lives. And remember, being respectful of others, even when we disagree, is crucial. Democracy thrives on civil discourse.
It's about finding common ground and working together to address the challenges facing our country. Schwarzenegger's willingness to speak out against his own party and challenge the status quo offers a glimmer of hope.
Yes, it suggests that maybe, just maybe, we can move beyond the partisan gridlock and find a way to work together for the common good.
So, we've covered Schwarzenegger's endorsement, its implications for the Republican Party, and the importance of civic engagement. As we head into the final part of our deep dive, what other key takeaways would you highlight? And we're back for the final round of our deep dive into Arnold Schwarzenegger's political earthquake, his endorsement of Kamala Harris.
It's been quite a journey, hasn't it? We've gone from Hollywood to the heart of American politics. And along the way, we've uncovered some fascinating insights into the state of our nation.
Yeah, we've definitely covered a lot of ground. But before we wrap things up, I want to bring it back to our listeners. So why should they care about all of this?
Yeah.
What's the takeaway for the everyday person scrolling through their YouTube feed?
Well, Schwarzenegger's story reminds us that we all have a voice and a responsibility to use it. He's not just an actor or former governor. He's a citizen deeply concerned about the future of his country. And he's using his platform to ignite a conversation, to challenge the status quo, and to inspire others to get involved.
Yeah, it's like he's saying, if I can do it, you can too. You don't need to be a celebrity or a politician to make a difference.
Precisely. Regardless of your background or political beliefs, you have the power to shape the world around you, whether it's voting, volunteering, or simply engaging in thoughtful discussions. Your actions matter.
So what's one concrete step our listeners can take today to make their voices heard?
Start by researching the candidates and issues on your local ballot. Local elections often fly under the radar, but they have a huge impact on your daily life. Yet voter turnout is typically much lower than in national elections.
Right. It's a great reminder that change starts at the local level. We often focus on the big national races, but sometimes the most meaningful impact we can make is right in our own communities.
Absolutely. And remember, democracy is not a spectator sport. It's an ongoing process that requires active participation from all of us.
Yep.
Staying informed, engaging in dialogue, and holding our elected officials accountable are essential for a healthy and vibrant democracy.
Couldn't have said it better myself. All right, deep divers. As we close out this episode, let's leave you with a thought-provoking question. Does Schwarzenegger's endorsement signal a larger shift within the Republican Party? Or is it simply a lone wolf making a stand? Hit us up in the comments below. We want to hear your thoughts.
It's a question that will continue to unfold as we head toward the 2024 election.
And that's it for today's deep dive. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more thought-provoking content, and ring that notification bell so you never miss an episode. Until next time, stay curious.